I left home for just 2 weeks, and when I returned, my garden, my pride and joy was gone. But the woman who destroyed it? She never expected the letter that showed up in her mailbox. Have you ever had a small corner in your life that brings you peace? For me, that corner was my garden. I had worked on it for years, little by little, roses that reminded me of my grandmother, lavender bushes that filled the summer air with a calming scent, and a small patch of vegetables I proudly grew myself. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't flashy, but it was mine. Whenever life got stressful, I would step outside, breathe in the fresh smell of soil and flowers, and feel at peace. My garden was my safe space. Now, here's where the trouble began. I live in a neighborhood with an HOA, Homeowners Association. And if you've ever dealt with one, you know it can sometimes feel like a group of people who enjoy rules a little too much. And in my neighborhood, there was one woman who took those rules more seriously than anyone else. Her name? Well, let's just call her Karen. Karen had a reputation. Always watching, always reporting. If someone parked a car slightly outside the lines, Karen noticed. If your grass grew an inch too tall, Karen sent an email. She treated the neighborhood like it was her personal kingdom. I usually avoided her. I kept my head down, followed the rules, and enjoyed my little patch of garden quietly. But one summer, I had to leave town for 2 weeks. A family emergency. Before leaving, I watered my plants deeply, asked a friend to check in, and felt confident my garden would be okay. When I returned home, suitcase in hand, something felt wrong. I walked up to my yard and froze. My beautiful roses? Gone. My lavender? Ripped out. Even my little vegetable patch? Destroyed. In its place was just bare dirt, with a crude little HOA notice taped to my door. I felt like the ground had been pulled out from under me. Years of care, time, and love erased in 2 weeks. I couldn't breathe. My garden wasn't just plants. It was memories, peace, therapy. And now it was gone. I marched inside, read the notice, and my jaw dropped. It said my garden was not in compliance with HOA standards. Apparently, Karen had reported it, and while I was away, the HOA had taken action. But here's the thing, they didn't just trim. They didn't just fine me. They destroyed everything. Without permission. Without warning. I felt anger boil inside me. But I knew one thing. This wasn't just about plants anymore. This was about principle. And Karen was about to regret it. The next HOA meeting, I walked in, holding the notice and photos of my destroyed garden. Karen was already there, sitting tall, with that smug smile she always wore, like she had single-handedly saved the neighborhood. When it was my turn to speak, I calmly laid everything out. I showed before and after pictures. I explained how much time and money I had invested. And then I pulled out something important. The state laws regarding homeowners' rights and property. You see, while HOAs have power, they don't have unlimited power. And in my state, there were strict protections for gardens, especially those growing edible plants like vegetables and herbs. Destroying them without notice? That wasn't just unfair, it was illegal. Karen's smile faded quickly. The room went quiet as I read out the law, line by line. The HOA president shifted uncomfortably. Other neighbors whispered to each other. And then I delivered the final blow. I had already filed a formal complaint with the state, complete with photos, the HOA notice, and testimony from my friend who had checked on the garden while I was away. The board didn't look happy, but not at me. At Karen. She was the one who had pushed this. She was the one who insisted my garden be removed. And now, because of her, the HOA was facing a serious state fine. Weeks later, a letter arrived. The HOA had been hit with a fine in the thousands. And because it was Karen's complaint that led to the destruction, the board decided she was responsible for covering a large portion of it. I'll never forget the look on her face the next time I saw her. Gone was the smugness. Gone was the superiority. She looked small, embarrassed, and very, very quiet. As for me, I rebuilt my garden. It took time, but neighbors actually came forward to help. People who had also been victims of Karen's rule obsession. Together, we planted new roses, new lavender, new vegetables. This time, it wasn't just my garden, it was our garden. A little symbol of standing up for what's right. And Karen? Well, let's just say she doesn't bother me anymore. Sometimes, justice isn't loud. Sometimes it comes in the form of a simple envelope in the mail, with a fine that makes a bully finally sit down and stay quiet. If this story touched your heart, don't just scroll. Hit the like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more inspiring stories.